Oh, Salmona. So yesterday I was recording with a good friend of mine, and we were just talking about different topics, and within the conversation, homosexuality came up. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about, but it came up, and it actually had me thinking later on, post interview or post conversation, around my journey. Uh, guys, I used to be the biggest homophobe. It's embarrassing thinking about it now, but that's the honest truth. Growing up the way that we grew up, many of you guys might relate, many might not. For us, homosexuality was a no-no. So being in a very conservative town, being in Newcastle, growing up in that space, KZN, at that time, homosexuality was seen as evil. It was seen as taboo, it was seen as wrong, and it's ingrained in you. And I'm thinking about like the embarrassing things we used to say about guys that were gay, the embarrassing things that we used to say about lesbians. There was guys like Tina, we used to have a term, cisboot, so whenever you showed or portrayed feminine actions or things, that's a cisboot, teasing you, in vernac, and I'm not trying to say this is derogatory, but we don't have another name for gay or homosexual. Tina, ngesiZulu sithi stabane, and again, anything that was seen as different and feminine and from a guy, how big would you do stubborn, how bad would you do stubborn. And it came up yesterday, the thoughts of that, because shit, I've actually come so far from where I was. I matriculate and then I go to Grahamstown and I study at Rhodes. Oh Lord, like God has a sense of humor. They're gonna take this homophobic guy from a small town, very conservative, very close-minded I was, and you're gonna put me in Grahamstown, a very liberal, art-centered university where people express themselves. There's so many people outside of Tina, what we thought was straight and heterosexual. That's when I was first introduced to the community, the LGBTQ at that time, community. That's when I was introduced to it. And I didn't know. I was like, for me, it was just, oh, there's lesbians and there's gays. To me, a guy who said he was bisexual was just a guy who was lying. It's a guy who's gay, but he also likes girls. So to me, I didn't understand that. A quick story. In my first year, I stayed at this one res, and I remember I'm showering in the morning, and in the cubicle next to me, a guy who's also in my corridor comes and he's shouting. We both first years. So in the morning I used to sing, I used to sing, to the Ohling Mhlaba, whatever song that came to mind. And I'm showering, and the guy next to me, nearly said his name, so he's like, morning Pinson. I'm like, how? What's up? I can't see him, but I can hear him, and he obviously can hear that it's me that's singing. And we're showering, he's showering next to me, closed off, so again, we can't see each other. And we're showering, and he's like, hey, Pinson, I've got something that I need to ask you, or something I need to tell you. I was like, okay, bro, go for it, And he's like, I don't know how to tell you because it's very, very hard, and I'm struggling to say this. I'm like, dog, just tell me, And he's like, I'm gay. And I was like, I'm naked. This is me within the first month, of varsity. I'm naked. I'm assuming he's naked the cubicle next to me. And I'm like, okay, what's happening? And he's like, how do I tell my mom? How do you tell your mom what? How do I tell my mom I'm gay? I'm like, fuck, bro, the way that you just told me, just fucking say it, So anyway, we had a conversation, carried on the conversation, and I then finished showering and I left, and I remember what had transpired there was so crazy because a month or two thereafter, I'm walking with a good friend of mine, Uluzu, and we walk and we see this guy with his boyfriend at the time, and they're arguing outside of our race. So his boyfriend pushes him. Yeah, but he pushes him. Yo, me and Uluzu, we just fucking run it. And we grab the guy and we pin him and we're like, don't fucking touch our boy like that, don't fuck. And we lost it. And I remember we chucked the guy on the ground, the guy obviously intercepted, no, leave my man, it's okay, guys, just leave him. We go and we're playing pool upstairs in our res and we're busy looking at each other and you're like, wow, Dwana, like in a matter of just a little bit of exposure and knowledge and open-mindedness, we went from being these homophobic guys to guys who are happy to stand up for a guy that is our brother who happens to be gay, and it's that journey of knowledge and understanding. Dylan never judged us. I ended up asking him a year later. I was like, Dylan, why did you ask me, of all people, or tell me about you being gay? And he was like, Penson, you were the most homophobic person I knew. And I knew that if I can come up to you and tell you about this, and the way that you responded, I knew that I could tell anyone. His mom embraced him, his family embraced his sexuality when he came out. So it was a beautiful story for him. It's not always a beautiful story for some of our brothers and sisters in Malokshini or in certain conservative homes where it's still very, very taboo. Some get disowned, some get shunned, whatever the case may be. And I'm saying all of this to just make us understand. I had a conversation with my mom and she was asking me, what do the other letters stand for? And I know the lesbian, I know the gay, I know the bi, I know the transgender, and I'm sitting and I'm trying to explain as best as I can. I have a vague understanding of queer. My understanding of queer is anyone who identifies outside of your straight or heterosexuality. That would be queer. It would be something that is a bit different, outside of the norm. So that's my understanding of queer. So guys, just please, if I'm wrong, just tell me. There's intersect, there's a whole plus meaning what you can express, with all the genders that are there. But with all of this, guys who are part of the community and who are angry and frustrated at guys like me, please understand what we too are on a journey of knowing, of learning, of growing, and we've made plenty fucking mistakes. And we are sorry for the mistakes because our intention is not to hurt. Our intention, at least mine, is to learn and to embrace in the community. And again, just because you're gay doesn't mean it's rainbows and unicorns this side, bro. I might still think you're a dick. So it doesn't mean oh my god, he's gay, let me embrace him. No. You're a dick that happens to be gay. So fuck you, play over there. And I've got, again, oh, this guy is gay. Oh, he's my brother, I like him. Doesn't matter. It's almost to me like supporting a certain sports team. You can support Barcelona and I might not like you. This guy might support Barcelona and I might embrace him because people are different. So again, this whole video was just around that journey. This whole video is about to spark a conversation. I'm trying to set up some interviews with good mates of mine who are in the community so that they can talk and teach us about their journey and then we can learn. The aim is to learn and to grow. The aim is to not shun. The aim is to not, well, fuck you, Penson, get the fuck. If you're about that energy, then go fly a kite in a thunderstorm. So again, I'm going to try and bring certain people of the community so I can learn, so that hopefully we can post these things online so that we can all learn. Because at the end of the day, Gyantanda guys, and you guys must have yourselves a fantastic day. Good shot.